Hello and good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday, September 8th, 2021, and we just finished the Power of Veto episode in week 9 of season 23 of Big Brother, USA edition. I'm Dave Mader, joined with my brother Jeff Mader and co-host Jaemeel Robinson, as we've been here streaming on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or you may be listening to us the audio version, wherever you get your audio podcasts. Welcome. We're going to break this episode all down tonight. This was a jam-packed episode in terms of soundboard. I couldn't even try to keep up because Jeff, Jaemeel, Zingbot was here tonight. But even more importantly, there was plenty of new songs that were out from this Big Brother cast. It was it's a very musically inclined cast, especially Azza was leading the charge as the leader of the house choir, perhaps. Gentlemen, what do you think of this episode tonight? We also, in terms of gameplay, we also see Tiffany ultimately as Alyssa takes herself off the block, and Tiffany's forced to put up Claire in her place, and Claire can't even be mad at her. We're going to talk about all this, but I don't know. Jeff, to you first.
Where do I start? Do I talk about the fun moment with the singing? Do we talk about Tiffany getting Claire to be okay with going home?
What stands out to you? What's the headline for you at this hour?
My favorite moment from the episode was Zingbot zinging Kyland. That was my favorite. The Babbling Brook zing was my favorite.
The Babbling Brook. Okay, I'm going to try to pull that while you guys maybe break the next a little bit of intro down here.
I don't know. It's a lot this episode had a lot going for it. Again, the episodes where the house doesn't get its way, even though actually they did get their way tonight, but you know what I mean? Like when it's a tough decision for the house and everyone's nervous and worried, those are always the best episodes of Big Brother for me, and that's kind of what we got tonight. Jaemeel, do you kind of concur?
Well, the house may have gotten its way, but I didn't get my way, and if I had my way, we would have seen a lot more of specific people who kind of expose themselves as being less than stellar individuals, garbage men, if you will. Garbage men, I will say, with names like Xavier and Derek F proving themselves to be trash. Literal trash. Garbage men, I say.
Is the word you're looking for?
Well, losers would imply that they actually play. You play and you win or you lose, right? They don't play. They don't. Right?
They just kind of whine.
They whine. And like people like, well, Jaemeel, it was one segment. It was a segment of two segments. It was actually two segments of Derek X complaining about Tiffany, screwing the cookout. Such a selfish play. What you don't realize is on the feeds, that exact speech has been going on for 6 days straight. Every single time he was on feeds, he would be doing that exact same argument over and over and over again about how selfish everyone is and how selfless he's been, how many things he's thrown for the cookout, how he sacrificed his game. And then you have Derek F going on about how much he's done for the cookout and how the cookout women would be nowhere without the men, and that they're being dragged to the final 7, which is absolutely absurd, especially from that dude who has not even remotely sniffed a win in this game, right?
Jaemeel, did he sound a little bit like this?
Lose! I don't lose! I win! I'm annoying! That's my job! That's what I do!
Is it a little bit like that?
A little bit like that. A little like, you know what? I'll give X a little bit of slack, even though like his whole Alyssa thing is just he's talking about people being selfish, and the whole situation with him and Alyssa is laughable. But at the same time, Derek F is ridiculous. This dude, like, it's like imagine Victoria was even more of a loser and did less in the game. That's who Derek F is.
At least he's entertaining.
Yeah, for you guys. I'm sorry. Like at a certain point, like you have to like pick your lane and understand like where you are in the world, right? And at a certain point, all that jokiness just becomes annoying.
I see your point there, and I'm not blinded by Derek F. Sorry, I think I understand what you're saying, like, and why he probably almost has no shot to win. But I don't see him as as dim and as oblivious in this game of Big Brother as I do see Claire and Alyssa, and just how out of touch they are with the game. At least, yes, Big D is in the big alliance, and he kind of sees how the house and all the dominoes are set up. But at the same time, like, he's actually the only one narrating to us tonight about like his nervousness about Tiffany backstabbing them, which was a definite possibility.
How can you say that?
What do you mean?
There was no way she was going to do that.
I mean, I think I still think it's silly she didn't. I think she should have.
You think it's silly she didn't? Sure.
Yes.
But there was no way she was going to, at this point, like, the pressure for the cookout to actually stay the cookout is, like, enormous, right? So, like, her hand was forced, right? Certainly. The only person who's legitimately, consistently trying to break up the cookout is Derek F., who, at the drop of the hat, whenever someone's complaining, is like, are we gonna get rid of Tiffany now? Are we? No? Oh, okay. False alarm. Okay. I'll go back.
Yeah,
I'll go back in the shadows.
Dave, do you think that this alliance is a little bit too tight, and it is a little bit kind of like, yeah, they're just like, they can't even start playing the game until 6 because they think it's social suicide to do it. And
well, what do I think it's too what? Like, is it just too frustrating to wait for the sort of this boiling point to come, you know?
Yeah,
or is there a certain satisfaction I'm gathering from watching the tension grow? I guess that's more my answer and where I'm coming from at this point, because sure, I think they're going to see this through. I think that it's kind of they have enough writing on it for different reasons, and they've convinced themselves of that narrative. That it's kind of a conclusion. You know, I think something has to happen for someone to, like, Derek F is the biggest wild card, but he's never had power, so it doesn't matter, right? Like, other than they got to manage his moods and things like that. So, you know, what else do they got to do? You know, you do what you need to do.
Do what you need to do.
You're just gonna like know where this is going. Jeff, just be prepared. Yeah, just be prepared. He's gonna have one of those lines. He's just gonna finish a sentence like, do you think Derek F is gonna take himself home? And then he's like, take yourself home.
Here's the song, Derek F, take your ass home.
Featuring Take Your Ass Home. Take your ass home. Take your ass home. Take your ass home.
You know what's happening? We know.
Let's keep singing.
No, let's not keep singing.
It's a long one. Do you think Claire is like, I'm back on the block? Let's just get them all out of the way now.
You want Derek F's I'm back on the block again?
You're gonna play him anyway.
I'm back on the block again. Because I'm from the block.
No, my favorite tonight was Big Blue Couch.
Big blue couch, grab a seat and some popcorn with your friends.
I think that's going to number 1. You know, or do you want, you know, do what you need to do? You know,
do what you need to do. Do what you need to do.
Oh, I will.
You're gonna get a copyright strike. I just CBS to just hit you with the copyright strike.
We own this music already. It is going in the vault. You know, this
so it can never be played.
Yeah, or you know,
make it extremely expensive to play it.
Yeah, Jeff's gonna put a copyright claim himself just to make sure it doesn't get played again.
Or we have the remix too.
Xavier could work on that. He's a lawyer. We get him in the copyright law, maybe.
Give him lawyer vibes. Yeah, okay. I was really entertained with that part of the episode because I think they're having some fun too, and like they're giving us entertainment, and I think that the producers are hearing that you gotta make us you gotta get us invested in these people somewhat if you want us to care who wins at the end here. Since we're waiting to get to 6, in a sense, because they just have to go through the motions, unless I guess now, with Claire being the foregone conclusion for tomorrow night in the first part, if they can't get out Alyssa at 7, then someone in the cookout has to go next by default. But do they not take that shot at the double eviction to get out a Derek F if they're just tired of his antics?
Okay, maybe.
I think that's a real question for going into tomorrow night.
I don't think Derek F's going home first at the 6, guys. It's just not. He is gonna. What he said tonight is accurate. Where he said he's just gonna sit back and eat popcorn and watch the big guns go at each other. That's gonna happen here. I think.
Okay, so Alyssa wins wins HOH for the double eviction tomorrow night. So she can't go. She can't go. She's
going for Tiffany. I think
she's going for. She'll put up Tiffany and Kyland,
Hannah.
Thailand. Yeah, okay, Tiffany.
Those 3, I think.
Who does she put up, Jaemeel? Who do you think?
She'll put up, depending on what Hannah and Xavier tell her. Basically.
So you think she'll listen? Yeah, so it won't be Hannah. You're saying Tiffany's a possibility.
Tiffany,
Kyland and Tiffany, maybe Derek F and Tiffany
and Azza. Possibly those 3.
Or Azza, some combination.
I don't think she'll put up Azza. Maybe she'll put up Azza if she's smart, because she needs to get Azza out of Xavier's back pocket, and she needs to be in Xavier's back pocket.
And Azza would say, "Do what you gotta do.
Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Do what you
We're gonna
gotta
suffer
do. Do what you gotta do. Yeah.
Not only are we going to suffer, but the entire audience that watches the show.
Oh, we got some comments already. Hopefully they're saying more. Okay. Mary I think Mary's saying that she thinks Tiffany would be the one to be the first to go if they're forced to turn on each other before 6.
It depends on who you're asking, but
yeah. And then Mary's she's not too happy with X. She says, "I'm so sick of X. They're going after Tiffany." Because she said Tiffany and Kyland. So Mary is a Tiffany fan, I would presume. I think she said this before. And she's actively cheering for her.
You don't even have to be a Tiffany fan. Like, X is seriously annoying the hell out of people. He's such an ass.
The editing, I agree with you tonight, Jaemeel, that the editing toward Tiffany was obvious tonight with the Zingbot moment when they called her old and she gave the double birds, and X was the one family. They didn't have to show that. They could have edited that out, and they purposely left that in there.
Think they're burying Tiffany?
Yeah, that was evidence to me of that.
What I don't understand, how is that an insult? Like, Tiffany looks damn good for her age, so I don't know. She's old, but she
Tiffany's
looks
2 years older than me. Like, she's not exact. I wouldn't say she's old.
Do I look old to you?
I think maybe it's just they knew it would bother her, so that's why they zinged her with it. More than anything.
Well, I think it was maybe
Xavier is 27, but the damn looks 34.
Derek F signed off on it.
Tiffany is old. History old. According
to Derek F.
Kyle Petty's No Fear Racing.
The best zing tonight, other than the Kylan one, was the Alyssa one where they called her Dim, and she goes, "What does that mean?" and he's like,
"Xavier's like, it's fine, just zing."
I mean, for damn.
Yeah. You got it.
Okay, I got the Kylan one. I pulled the Kylan one.
Kylan! Oh no. Listening to you talk is like sitting by a brook. An endless babbling brook.
Yeah.
I also thought it was hilarious.
The less people understand what the hell he's saying.
I also thought it was hilarious. This soundboard is going nuts. I also thought it was hilarious that Hannah was so excited to see the Zingbot because she's kind of her own little Zingbot in the DR room. You know, with the sketch bees and the
Okay.
Yeah.
She was so excited to see Zingbot tonight, Jeff. She's like, it's like Barack Obama.
I have never been so excited. I feel like I'm about to meet Barack Obama. I get to meet Zingbot. That's so exciting.
Yeah. I think
Thoughts?
Zingbot, I'm guessing, was her favorite thing on Big Brother growing up.
Okay, and maybe Barack Obama was her second favorite thing,
Has Barack Obama been on Big Brother?
No.
but he became president when she was a kid, so maybe that was a big deal. She's from Chicago, I think she is too, right? So she's like lots of connections there. But Zingbot and Barack Obama are on her Mount Rushmore, on the Mount Rushmore of Hannah's mind.
Not Julie Chen.
Only if it's Julie Chen Moonves,
Only that.
because she's like, don't forget the Moonves.
Don't forget the Moonves.
No.
No.
California Love.
You guys didn't like Oz's Zing?
I loved Oz's zing. I didn't pull it as a full clip, but it was just like, you know what will never happen? Ozza and Xavier go on a date, sing, and they're like, well, who's that an insult against? And Tiffany's like, against Ozza. Like,
I think it's an insult against both of them, but it's
Oh,
more against Ozza, of course. But I think it's a little bit like Xavier's embarrassed by that. Like, is he?
well,
not?
okay, maybe Xavier's a little bit like Nick, and Oz is a little bit like Gina Marie. If you catch what I'm saying here. Nick!
Yes, it is a very similar situation. I just think, like he didn't want that coming up. You know what I mean?
Him dying in the diary room, like when they were cutting away, and he's just like sinking into his chair. That was amazing. I was like, this is so funny.
So there was a follow-up conversation with X and Derek F, where like they were talking about it, and he's like, yeah, I felt bad about that, and it's like Derek F was explaining, he's like, look, I told Ozzy from the get-go that you were not interested in him, and he's like, how'd you tell her? And it's like, girl, I don't think he's like in it for you. If he comes to you, that's one thing, but it don't look like he's interested, right? And he's like, okay, but X, he kind of talked to Ozza afterwards, and Ozza, felt a certain bit of ways and felt embarrassed, and stopped cuddling with him and kind of kept her distance because, like, obviously, you look kind of foolish if you're hanging on this dude like she has, right? And then he like, don't worry about it. I know you feel bad, and she's like, oh, okay. And then now they're cuddling again, and he's like, oh, this is not what I didn't want her to give her hope or anything like that. So he's kind of back where he started.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know, Xavier.
But at the same,
cutest button. Ozza, gorgeous. Hannah's very cute. Whitney, very attractive.
He was into all of them. He's got a little bit of attraction for her.
But at the same time, the dude is like, as Ozza's into X into Alyssa, and is like hanging over her all the time, and he's letting her, like, his feelings of her affect his gameplay.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's
the only reason why he's so pissed off at Tiffany isn't because she made that move. It's because that move impacts Alyssa. That's the only reason why.
So he's just as petty as her.
Kyle Petty's No Fear Racing.
Yeah. Ozza level pettiness, right? Because where is she?
I know you went
because I'm petty.
I know you were looking for that clip.
He feels proud of himself when he gets it in. Like,
when I get it in the right time, if it takes me too long, I don't feel so proud.
But Dave, we lose you. You become absent from the conversation because you're only worried about your sound bites.
You need to get like a 36 button like thing, so you could just like Big Brother Ozza sound clip.
Sometimes when I'm watching the episode, I'm like, I'm going to play this clip when they talk about this part. Like when tonight where Hannah said I was going to be a surgeon. I was going to be, Doogie Howser.
Doogie Howser.
But not anymore. She can't hold that thing steady, so she's changed her career path already. She's not becoming that surgeon. No.
Okay, so Mary is bringing up the thing that's not on the show, but the Kyle and Tiffany.
Oh, yeah, I see. I was gonna wait till later. Whoo!
But they're not showing it on the show. I don't think they're going to.
Do you want me to bring
the
comment up?
No.
Okay. So she's saying here the entire week, and Big D have been whining every time I watch the live feeds. Okay, so she's not a fan of that,
Constantly, she's not lying.
but she's saying Kylan. Okay, so the other night we said that Kylan and Tiffany might have some kind of flirt mance going on.
Oh, it ain't a flirt man's.
No.
It ain't a flirt
It's
man's.
the finger man's.
Ooh.
Okay, for 2 nights. 2 nights
Ooh, yeah,
only.
2 nights.
2 nights and counting.
Mhm.
Okay, so are they? They almost remind me of like a Christmas and what's the other guy from last season? Like kind of a late showmance here, but late in the season.
What was his name? Clay or not Clay?
No,
It's from Dan's partner.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
Memphis.
Yeah. Ugh, Memphis. Never liked that
Walking
guy.
in Memphis.
Yeah.
Walking in Memphis.
Memphis and Christmas. What?
So
what?
Mary, from that scene, we're not gonna take any sound cues because that would be inappropriate. This is a family show.
It was Christmas in Memphis.
You kind of missed what I said. You kind of missed what I said, but or in this case, it was Kai and Tiff. But
Kai and Tiff. Okay. We a bit of an odd pair, but sure.
Sometimes itches need to be scratched, and he's scratching that itch.
Is this a genuine relation? I don't know. I don't watch the live feeds, but is this like a genuine relationship, or is this a bit of strategy to make sure Kylan didn't hit the block this week? No,
I think this is scratching an itch. I think.
Maybe he respects her because she tells him to shut up.
No, shut the up, Kylan.
And she's like, no, get to work. Kylan, do I look old to you? Go.
Look, Mary, I saw the scene. You saw the scene. Was it 6:35? You heard it, right?
Does anyone else in the house know? Is my question.
Maybe Hannah. I don't know. All I saw was the scene.
Why is Hannah Tiffany's lawyer tonight going down and pitching Tiffany's strategy or of what she's going to say? Tell Claire
because X doesn't they don't respect Azza, right? And X listens to Hannah from time to time, so it makes sense.
And I think Hannah had to say to Tiffany, like, you either have to choose to go against the cookout here, right, and put up Kylan or whatever, make the big move, or not. And I think Tiffany was like, by that point, I'm not going to make that move. So I need Hannah's help how do I put Claire up, right? How do I work myself up to that conversation? It was not that. I think that was really it, because Hannah was like, you have to do this. And I think Tiffany knew she had to do it or not have to do it and roll the dice and hope, but it's like, it's throwing the game away, right? Like if you do it. So
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I think there was a path to the end for her taking her shot this week, because if she gets out X here and she's got Kylan in her bed, what is she scared of?
Thank you, Mary.
Well, what's she saying here, Jaemeel?
She's like, in terms of like, is this because Kai and Tiffany are strategizing? It's like, doesn't think so, because everything Tiffany tells Kylan, he tells X, which is true.
So those three are at the head of the house. Like they've been running this game.
Well, no, like Tiffany will tell X something, Kylan something, and Kylan will immediately run over to X and tell X it. Like Kylan is trying to play both them, right? So it doesn't matter.
I thought Hannah was the biggest squeal in the house, but I think actually it's Kylan. Now you're saying that, yeah. Well,
he rambles and nobody understands what he's saying.
The more he talks, the less people understand what the hell he's saying.
Yeah.
You make a great politician. You just say a whole bunch of nothingness, and somehow some people get to the end and go, "He's a nice guy."
He's so damn cute, according to Derek F.
He's so obvious. I'm sorry. I'm waiting for the drop. That's why.
Of what?
Oh, I thought you were gonna play "He's So Damn Cute" or something about Kylan.
No, I didn't have. I can pull everything. I only give myself 20-30 minutes to pull the sounds. And tonight, with all the zings and all the songs, I was like, I gotta get that song.
Do what you need to do.
We never know when we might need to hear now. Do what you need to do. 3 versions of that.
You didn't have what's it called again? Destiny, but you
No.
get the songs. You
How did
get
you
the
miss-
songs.
I don't know how you missed that Destiny. That was gold.
Sometimes you miss them. It's your destiny to miss those.
Well,
Yeah.
um,
Segue.
yeah. Segue. Kylan and Tiffany. I suggest you guys look at the video, or you don't. It's up to you.
I can imagine it. I think as much as I need to
Okay.
for the purposes of like if whatever. Sure. I don't know if it's going to be. Just keep an eye on how it impacts the strategy, I guess, or how it impacts the relationship going forward. Because they've been at odds at different times. But Kylan seems to have a weird dynamic with whoever's in power. Too. I think this could be driven around just the fact that Tiffany has power.
He likes women in power.
Anybody in power. Doesn't matter.
He voted for Hillary, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So like the whole thing tonight where she had to like work herself up to telling Claire. Okay, so I think we need to talk about this whole thing with Claire and her kind of bringing Claire to tears eventually, where Claire couldn't even believe it. Claire was like talking to her tonight, saying she's like, and so I only have so many options, and like, really you're all that's left. And Claire's just like, what? Me? You're putting me up?
Yeah, it was almost like she wasn't listening to her at first. She was just like, "Oh, it's me." Because if she heard the first sentence before that, she would have put it together real quick. But yeah, I think I don't know. Okay, does she understand why she's doing it? Does she, does she truly understand why she's being put on the block here? Or
as much as Tiffany's willing to tell her, yes, right. I think that there's it's kind of a half truth in that she's like, well, I can't put up the people of color because so therefore that's not the way I'm going to play. But then she says art or because you're in an alliance, and she goes no. So she lies in one step, but she's like, I'm willing to tell you that this is motivating the reason, even though I'm not willing to tell you exactly who I'm aligned with, because I guess the alliance would get pissed off, right? So she can't do that, so she's not going to do that. So then she just breaks down, and then she goes, "I can't even be mad about it." And then I was like, "Can you, Claire?"
Because she understands.
She understands. So I guess that's her choice. She's like, "I really do."
So
that.
I think this whole scenario kind of turned on X saying, "Oh, if she's gonna do this, she's ruining her game." Right. Nah, no, man. Claire going out now and going to the jury and being the representative in the jury for Tiffany. Gosh, like,
well, what's the jury? The jury's gonna have mad respect, right? Because you're thinking like, Claire's gonna go, she sent me out. I was sent out by Tiffany, and everyone's gonna go, Tiffany sent Claire out,
and then they're gonna have an explanation, and then like they have all the little hints all together, so they know what's gonna be going on, right? And like she's gonna be the information provider. Alyssa's what possibly could be going out next, right? And then let's say it is Tiffany. How is X going to win this game with like Tiffany going to be there in the jury feeling the way she does about how X has been talking about her the entire time? I can't fathom it. So Kylan, who everyone thought last week was dead to the world, right? I don't know. Doesn't look too bad right now.
Anything good for Kylan is not good for me.
But I'm just saying, like I understand X's frustration. I actually do, and I'm trying to be like put myself in his position and what he observed. But at the same time, dude, you got to rein yourself in. You've been reined in the entire time, and then all of a sudden, one thing happened, and not even a huge thing where it's like, oh my gosh, our games are ruined, right? And he just like, and it's not like only Derek F heard him complain. Everyone heard this man complain. Look, even Claire and Alyssa was like, man, people angry at you winning HOH, right? Like people leaving during the like this is my HOH room reveal. Come on, that like.
Question here from Mary is, why do you think they would? Are they not liking Tiffany? Are they making her look bad? Not giving her a favorable edit.
I think it has to do with, I mean, my opinion, the double bird to the camera when Zigbot was there. It's not something production would take well. And I don't think this is the first time that she's bucked heads with producers on this show. That's just my theory. I don't know if it's true. It's just my theory. Because knowing Tiffany's personality, I could see that. And I think maybe that the producers are having enough of her. So they are they're throwing her on the bus, I think.
I tend to agree with Jeff, but it was because historically, the producers will make you make you look as good or bad as they wish to, depending on what they think the narrative of the show is or what they think the mainstream audience is tracking against. They'll make they were making Jax and Mickey look continuously favorable on the show, even though everyone kind of knew on the scenes he was not like the greatest guy, and he wasn't even always the most cooperative with like game twist, like have-nots and things like that.
Right.
But he was always, him and Holly were always presented quite favorably. I thought, as much as they could be for what they were bringing to the show.
You mean
Beth, yeah, of course. And then her nickname was Beth in that season. And then but like so when they do it like for Tiffany, who is an entertainer and you think would be my disposition would say like, oh, she's more likely to be on their good side than their bad side, because she brings like these great sound bites, these great clips, these moments to the diary room. She gives this great energy. But I think she's also probably a loose cannon they can't control very well either. So but like, okay, let's seen a lot of evidence of that.
I don't know. Let's compare him a little bit, compare her, to Big D a bit. I think, like, look at the way Big D is, like, on the show. Right, not talking about in the house, but on the show, Big D is like really bringing the laughs. I guess you could say he's really entertaining, and I think sometimes Tiffany does it when she's in the house, when she's talking to the cameras, and I think a lot of fans love that. But I think on the flip side, I think when she's in the DR, my guess is she's being abrasive with the producers about how she wants to be portrayed, and kind of the mastermind, the one controlling everything. I think that's how, and which is usually where you want to be in this game. You want to be on production's good side and be portrayed as the mastermind. But yeah, if production turns on you, they can make it whatever. They can make reality whatever they want it to be. What do you think, Jaemeel?
Let me first off by addressing Mary. Mary says Big D isn't a good look watching feeds. No, he isn't. Like, his attitude is like, dude, seriously, you guys, seriously problematic.
Yeah.
The way the dude is talking on feeds and
like, give us an example. Just give us an example of like what he's doing.
Like the dude has been against women from the get-go.
Right.
Not like these women. Women,
all women in general.
Like, he's like, we need to get rid of these women. We need to get rid of these from the jump. Like, it had nothing to do with nothing. Right?
Yeah.
He has a specific agenda and he's going for it. Right? Dismissive of anything that a woman does.
But that is
but baby girl, I love you, but that's not gonna happen.
So they're definitely editing him favorably. Which
absolutely, they gave him all those he got to narrate that whole dance thing tonight, which you got to think was popular with the kids. And I think he's in fact the opposite of, like, they love him compared to Tiffany, probably, based on what we're seeing here, just because they don't, or they're okay with Tiffany leaning into some kind of a villain role. They're okay with her being not loved by the audience, maybe love to hate her sort of thing is more what they might.
Big D. At times he gives me minstrel vibes. Right?
Minstrel vibes?
Yes, he gives me that type of vibe. Like, he's just there to perform and is like, shucking and jiving almost.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because like, he's not like, I would, if I'm wrong and there's some kind of master plan in terms of his gameplay that I'm not seeing, but right now his hope is that everyone hates other people more than they hate him.
Right.
Because
Yeah,
he's not.
I agree. Yeah.
He's not really. He's not even like earlier on. You'd see moments where he's like, "Hey, baby girl," and kind of thing. But there's gonna be a lot of cookout members there. Like, is Sarah Beth gonna like Big D?
Right.
Is Claire gonna like Big D? Right? Like Alyssa might like him, maybe, right? But like he is burning a lot of bridges, and like I don't see how, like I can't really respect the second place game. Same thing with Azza. Like Azza at least admits that she's sucking ass, right? And she's pretty much like, I think that the only thing that I'm gonna contribute is us getting to a 6, and then I don't know. Hopefully, I can turn it on. But she's at least reflective about how poor she's played. The only thing Big D is complained about is how it's so unfair that all the games are not really to my liking, and I can't win them, and it's so unfair. I hate losing. Right?
Tonight was his competition to win, and he had the chance like 5 times to win it, and he kept knocking it over, and then he blamed his big hands or his big arms. And
big feet, big hands, big arms, big. Yeah, he does lean. Makes way too many excuses around that.
There's been a ton of question and answer challenges, and he's sucked ass in all of them. What's his excuse in that? His big tongue got in his way?
Yeah, definitely it did. I do see why you dislike Big D, and like this whole week he's kind of dragged Xavier into his anti-woman realm, and that now like Xavier, like I could see just from Amanda's, because she listens to the live feed updates, how the vitriol that she has towards Xavier this week, and and I think it has a lot to do with Big D. And both of them are just whining because for the first moment in the game things didn't go their way.
And I like X. I like X. It's so frustrating. I'm like, dude, why? Don't make me like Kylan. No.
No.
You don't force me to root for Kylan.
Come on, man.
Yeah, like, if Tiffany goes out at this double eviction, who are you cheering for? He
still has Azza in the draft.
Hannah, dude, come on. I've been off that trade for a long while.
Hannah's the only one to cheer for, right?
Yeah, for me personally, unless something turns around and maybe X starts winning, or Azza flips the switch and becomes unbeatable, or even Alyssa, or
Alyssa would be an insane comeback. You imagine Alyssa wins this season.
If she gets to Final Four, she will be America's favorite player. I said it.
Mary said she liked X a lot before this week.
Yeah.
See,
a lot of women have turned on him from what I'm noticing, and is it all because of Big D, or is it because
it's his own damn fault?
It's his own damn fault, and is it a lot to do with the fact that he might have the hots for Alyssa, and he was worried that things for the first time in this game weren't going to go his way, and now we're kind of seeing the real, like he was called a narcissist by Zingbot tonight. That's not exactly that word, but that's what.
Yeah. Okay, what are we gonna write about Xavier? Yeah, he's obsessed with himself and his look and whatever, and he says he's a model, so it's almost like it's his job to be obsessed with himself.
I'm gonna reveal your secret.
Right?
Yeah, I love that they made him sweat there, like that. He was worried.
He was like ready to lose it. If
they found out that I'm actually a lawyer, they might view me as more of a mental threat.
They might, but
look, even the way they present him, right? Present him, Alyssa, and Azza. When Alyssa gets zinged, he immediately steps in. It's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Just take the zing and just walk away. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Azza gets burned. Like, what was his reaction? Was there a reaction?
It was.
It was a personalized.
It was a little bit like this, Jaemeel. It was like, oh crap, I hope she doesn't figure it out. Oh no. Like if she call it, like we just saw last episode how smart she was in her pitch to Tiffany. Like she's not a dumb girl. She's oblivious because she's not playing the game. I feel like Claire should have got that burn, because to me Claire is kind of oblivious.
Claire's the Bigfoot.
Yeah, like I didn't really like that burn. I don't think that.
And Alyssa's like, it's true. She walks around like a Sasquatch. And you're like, okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
That zing was the weakest zing of all the zings.
That was the
people
weakest
felt
things?
people felt that on the in the house that they felt that the Big D didn't really get zinged.
What was his zing again?
He left a mark on the house in the toilet.
Yeah.
He leaves streaks.
Again,
And-
so they could have went after him about this the anti-women stuff, and they didn't. Again, they're protecting him for sure.
They can't reveal that, because if they did, then people will have to dig into the feeds, and right now people aren't really doing that much. So,
And his dad was Smoking Joe Frazier.
My father was Smoking Joe Frazier, the boxer.
So maybe that has something to do with it. He might win America's Favorite House Guest.
he's not going to win it. He's not going to win it. Derek X. Did you not see like the publicity stuff that they had with DX? They have like video of him like sitting on a lawn chair, shirtless, reading a calculus book and answering questions.
They're just like, gonna get those votes up. They're like, he's
Like-
never gonna lose. He will keep his popularity at the top. He'll be trending forever. Derek
You
X.
watch. I bet you watch the next Jury House segment. It isn't going to be, oh, Sarah Beth's in the house. It's going to be Sarah Beth sees X, and then X sees this. X is going to be the main star in the Jury House segment for the rest of the season until another big name comes out. That's their narrative.
Yeah, I agree. I think Brittany's also. She had her episode last week. She had her segment last week, and now that's done. No more hot tub time for you, Brittany.
It's me.
Okay. Do you think we'll get a jury segment tomorrow night in this double eviction? They won't have time for it, will they?
Isn't it
They
2
probably
hours?
Is
It's
it a
a
2-hour
double.
double eviction?
Yeah, it probably is.
So I guess we're on at 10:30.
It
Possibly.
might be.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Okay, I were figure that out. Yeah.
You keep talking. I'll check.
Well, just like on the whole, what looking ahead to tomorrow night and what we're up for, because I just think it was interesting just to see everyone get so mad at Tiffany in this episode, seeing the tension. I think that resentment, and also I think it's losing to Tiffany. I think because like I didn't want to lose to Tiffany because I threw it on purpose. I've been throwing away my game, and they're all becoming more and more resentful of her. So she does what they want here, but it's like they had to be like real jerks just to kind of get their way. But did they? Maybe not.
Would she have done? I think she would have done this anyway.
Yeah, I think so. It was unnecessary.
Yeah,
and really
It's
just
1
because
hour.
they
Right.
It's just
Wow.
1 hour. So
That's
I don't
gonna
think
be 1 hour. The
that's
federal
if they do show the
leaders
jury,
debate
like
is after.
it'd be like, hey, Sarah Beth's at the jury. Okay, see you later.
Honestly, just save it for
the next time.
save it for Sunday.
Yeah,
Save
they'll
it
probably
for
do it on
Sunday.
Sunday. Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, I think everything would have went the same way here, and they could have, preserved what reputation they have left on the live feeds. But they didn't. They chose to bitch and moan for 6 days straight, as Jaemeel was saying. And why? Like, what is motivating that? Is it resentment towards Tiffany based on the fact that she's definitely the front runner to win the votes, even if she sits beside X, or in DF's mind beside Big D? Is that the thing? Like, they know she's getting the votes right now, and they're trying to sabotage her?
Well, it's also I think they might have some dislike for her in some ways, right? As well, they'd rather them than her.
Well, I would hope that each and every single person in this house envisions themselves winning at the end, right? Not just like, oh, Tiffany's gonna win it. I would hope that the regardless of how delusional it might be, Aza, it might be getting at the end and winning. You would hope that each player perceives them as the hero, right? And them winning at the end, right? With that in mind, I think that once again, it's self-interest are the reason why they were bitching. And unfortunately, some of these dudes are childish, and they can't properly deal with not winning, right?
Yeah,
And when I say
yeah.
not winning, there's a difference between not winning a competition and not getting your way. And too long people have gone their way, even indirectly, and now
Right.
all of a sudden it was like, we told you to do something and you didn't do it. why you're being so selfish. When Kylan did Kylan never got as much heat as Tiffany did.
Now, okay, can we flip this around? Would Tiffany be doing not the same thing, but a similar thing if she wasn't getting her way?
Yes.
I think she would complain, but I don't think we would see the amount and the length of complaining. She wouldn't be happy that Claire would be gone, right? But at the same time, it isn't just X complaining; it's X just piling on with DF, right?
Right.
Is Hannah is gonna sit there and listen to Tiffany complain for that long? No, she would say, "Okay, are you done? Are you done?" Right?
I guess. I mean, it's a game, right? So it's hard, especially when you're closest ally or whatever, and you want to keep tight, and you want relationships to be good. It's hard to tell people to shut up, you know. But Tiffany doesn't have a problem doing that. But I feel like she has a hard time if somebody were to tell her to shut up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. Sorry, let me set the stage for you, Dave. They're not the same, okay? They're not cut from the same cloth.
right.
So we different.
Different.
So we different.
What you?
Maybe that's what Tiffany.
So we different.
Maybe that's what Tiffany was referring to. Was that conversation? To me, is kind of like, yeah, like I wouldn't do this. I would bitch, but I would probably bitch more to the DR than I would in the house.
Oh, she would definitely bitch to the DR.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Which I'm 100% for. You bitch in the DR as much as possible. That's what it's for. It's there to entertain us and to tell us what's going on in the house.
I don't think Tiffany lies in the DR, and I appreciate that.
Right.
I feel like what she's feeling at that moment, she's saying. We might not hear everything, but if it's not the DR, she's saying it to the camera at the very least. Right?
Yeah, she's the most authentic, I think, in the DR. And then nobody else acts like this when it was their people left. So Xavier, Xavier, but also like Kylan kind of rubbed his alliance when he was like, "Well, take me off the block. I don't want to pack a bag," for when Sarah Beth goes. Come on,
Okay.
They're all kind of
they're all kind of selfish, which is fine. It is an individual game.
Hannah the least, because, but like Zingbot says, like Hannah's like the quiet one in the alliance.
But here's the thing. So let's see next week. X accidentally wins. He slips on the banana peel and wins. Is he putting up Alyssa? Take care, Mary. Take care. Do you think he's putting up Alyssa? Do you think he's not going to complain about how he has to put up Alyssa and how he has to vote her out?
Yes, I don't think that Xavier's perfect, but I also don't think Tiffany is either. So.
Here's what I think is kind of happening here, guys. I feel like this week is Xavier trying to protect his ass for next week, because I think he is going to do the big shot next week if he wins or Alyssa wins the HOH. If Alyssa wins, it's perfect for him. But if he has to win the HOH, and I think he might try, I think he's gonna do the big shot and go after Tiffany. What do you guys think?
Okay, so the house, a good portion of the house is throwing the next HOH.
Okay, so is Xavier one of those people? Okay, so
because they want to compete at 6.
Who do they want to give it to? Azza?
Yeah,
Azza,
do you think
Big D.
Is Azza gonna beat Alyssa?
Azza, Big D. But look, if your X and Alyssa wins HOH, how does that mess with you?
It doesn't. I mean,
it doesn't. That's the thing.
I mean, but it does mess with Tiffany. It does mess with Hannah.
That's why Hannah is not throwing it. She's not throwing it.
But he's telling them that she will.
So, like, the communication that people are having is like, "Oh, everyone throw it. We'll give it to either Big D or Azza."
Hannah's gonna win. I think this is my prediction. She's gonna win the HOH. I said that to Amanda before we came on. I'm like, she's gonna win this HOH because it's gonna be a questionnaire, because it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be true, false, whatever they're gonna do, and she's gonna win it. I think.
Put the coffee in the coffee maker.
Coffee. Everyone's speculating that it's gonna be a puzzle veto, right? A puzzle like obstacle course veto, right? Because it has to be in the time period. It has to be quick. But they can't do if they're doing 2 double evictions in 2 weeks. That means you can't get a questionnaire and then another questionnaire. It has to like be mixed up. So I think questionnaire, obstacle course veto, slip and slide. I think it's time. I keep on calling it slip and slide.
For a double eviction?
No, for the HOH after the double.
After
eviction.
this, yeah, maybe, yeah. So,
I think it's gonna be slip and slide.
okay. What do you think, Jeff? What's your gut telling you tomorrow night, though, in this double eviction? Will the cookout be the final 6 after tomorrow night, or will that not happen?
I mean, if they all go through with throwing it didn't go so well last week, did it? You know.
Yeah. Okay, so do you think the cookout will like Alyssa will be the one they send out in this double, or will one of them take a shot at the other, depending on who wins?
I think that entirely depends on what Xavier and Big D do. If Big D wins this HOH by some weird miracle, because everyone's throwing it and Hannah screws up, yeah, he's taking the shot, guys. Big D is taking the shot.
He's taking the shot with veto. I don't think he's going to take the shot initially.
Okay,
so he doesn't put her up in initial noms. He would backdoor her.
He could put her up initially, but he could like put
her up with Alyssa.
Put Alyssa, and then whoever wins, right? And let's say they take Alyssa down, because X could do that, right? With Derek Half going, hey, do it, and he puts up Hannah, then Tiffany's going home.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility, especially if they're willing to throw things, to people here, especially,
if somehow Xavier wins or he changes his mind, he doesn't throw it anymore, he wins tomorrow night in this double, what does he do?
Is he going to take out Alyssa? Is he going to do
That's
it?
The question. That's the question.
That is, it's more of a question that I could only imagine the explosion from Tiffany if that occurs.
If he does, well, it would be to send out Tiffany, I think. So if he's like, instead of Alyssa going, what if Tiffany goes? But how does he make that happen? Who does he put up to make Tiffany go?
Hannah
and Tiffany. Okay.
Yeah. And then it's down to a Big D, Azah, Kylan vote, and Alyssa. So it's 4. Yeah, it's 4 votes. Yeah, sorry, but. Yeah, I think she goes home in that vote.
Yeah.
I guess Kylan might not vote her up. The other 3 would. It might be a 2-2 tie, and then he breaks the tie. You know what I mean?
If Kylan wins power, do you think he'll target Big D?
I think Kylan's going to throw it. He's not.
Kylan knows better to stay.
Kylan doesn't know how to throw anything.
Kylan's not in danger right now, so why would he even bother?
Because it's Kylan.
I love that moment from the episode tonight where he's like, "Oh, he's just gonna smile," and then it just cuts to him like cooking, and he has a big smile on his face. I love that. That was one of my favorite moments of the episode.
And Mary feels like Tiffany's fate is going to be sealed. Anyway, if she goes up, she'll go out.
She has to win veto.
So she has to survive this double tomorrow
She
somehow.
has to win veto. She needs to win veto, or Hannah needs to win veto. Regardless.
Only Hannah has her back now?
Yeah. It seems like it.
Like if X says don't play veto on Tiffany, is she going to do it?
This is why this season is so tricky, because what other season would an HOH at Final 8 here take out pretty much their closest ally? Like I mean,
we're talking about they're probably going to take her out next.
Well,
so then we're like, I think that it's clear that she's made the wrong move by sticking loyal to this cookout.
That's what I think, but Jaemeel is adamant that she has a path here. Oh well, I think you think she couldn't do it. She's
damned if she does and damned if she doesn't, right?
It's suicide.
There's a certain point when you're playing a game that you're gonna have to win, and that veto and HOH, like she has to win. As simple as that.
Well, she can't be in the HOH.
Yeah.
No, I mean like veto. That's why I said
she has to win immunity.
Veto and HOH.
Or hope Hannah wins HOH. Hannah's her proxy.
Yes. But like it's the same thing with alliance. Your alliance has to win.
Unless Hannah and like what if Big D wins and puts up Hannah and Tiffany?
I mean,
she needs to win. She or Hannah needs to win veto.
I think it would be delicious though if Kylan wins, and then he he saves Tiffany and then puts up X or something, and then the whole house loses their mind, you know. I just think
Kylan doesn't want to get rid of X.
Right.
He thinks he can beat X at the end.
Right. Stupid.
He's like, I want to play the best at the end.
Yeah, he's Cody. He's season 16 Cody.
Yeah.
Not season 22 Cody.
Xavier's not even playing a great game, guys.
That's the thing.
He's really not. Everything is going his way, and this is the first bump in the road, and it's it's like he's got 4 flat tires, and he's crying that there's no mechanic open. It's ridiculous. He doesn't have 4 flat tires. It's all in his head.
Well, Mary's saying that Azza. So she's saying, okay, so is this boys versus girls at the cookout really that's what's brewing here, more than anything? But X has Alyssa as a number going into this.
Yeah.
So
and Tiffany is really drawing a line, and so is Big D. They're all drawing lines here, they know that Hannah.
We're at final 7, right? After they got to get Claire out now, and so unless they want to take out,
if they get Claire out, or when they get Claire out, I think at this point is kind of.
It's done.
A POC will be the winner of Big Brother 23.
I think. Oh yeah, no matter what, yeah, that's happening. But it
could be Alyssa.
Yeah. Who could make it? I don't know. Once these people start turning on each other, it could be resentment. This alliance could really have a lot of resentment toward each other once one person takes
they
out
already resent each other from what I can tell.
Yeah.
I think that they are
but they're not allowed to show it yet. They're not allowed to other than Big D and X
Tiffany
bitching to Hannah and Big D bitching to Xavier. Seems like Azza just lives in that one bed. She never moves. That's just where she is. You want to talk to Azza? That's where yeah. Does she leave? Does she go anywhere in the house other than that bed?
She goes to cuddle with Xavier.
She burns food.
She burns some food.
Yeah.
If I was Alyssa, I'm not eating anything before this HOH unless I get sick.
The whole season, because they haven't had power, Big D and Azza have literally just been in the same room.
Yeah.
No, unless
I would appreciate to feel heard.
Unless she's in the HOH room. Big D's in the HOH room listening to Tiffany's music like he was when he was talking to X.
Yeah. Beyonce lemonade. He wants to make some lemonade. But with no sugar.
Oh my god, I'm about to cry.
That's grown. All right.
Yes.
All right, we got Mary here saying, "Man, Jeff, I really wish you watched the live feeds to see how much whining is going on."
He gets it from
Amanda.
Amanda tells me, and I wish I did too. I really
just watch clips at the very least. If you just watch clips, jeez. Although I couldn't really find any big oh, this is X complaining for a long period of time.
Right. Yeah, I get the complaining always makes you look less favorable. And I think what's going on in this house is really been going on for a long time. And I think it's not always called out on the live feeds. It has been. I think the live feeders have known this a long time, that when you watch these people all the time and when the people in power don't get their way, how badly they can react. This, even Derek Lavasseur, when he, as much as he ran that game, when he wasn't getting his way with Donnie or whatever, you could see the real temper tantrums that would come out of these strategic players, because it's a really slow, methodical game, Big Brother, where you're having to go through these motions day by day, week by week. Okay, vetoes, get it, and this alliance has been playing this for a while. They've been methodical, so it's just they're oh my god, I need to
change it up,
or all this hard work needs to be for something, and Tiffany's messing it up. When I think Tiffany and Kylan both pissed off Xavier, right, by not letting Azza have that HOH, and
Well, but only because he wanted to make sure Claire went home, which is what's happening anyway. But he wanted, the fact that he's on the block and he has no worry, not a care in the world about going home, is kind of like what makes this season so frustrating. Because, like, yeah, he doesn't need to. Like Claire going, I'm going to fight, I'm going to scratch and claw. And it's like literally, it's pointless, Claire.
I'm
It's
so stoked.
Yeah, it's
She's
sad.
so screwed.
So screwed.
So proud of Tiffany. I'm so excited.
I don't understand. Like, all right, do you think she actually understands? Like, oh, okay, I get it. Like, you know what? Black people have had a bad run here on Big Brother.
They've been pitted against each other.
Or do you think it's kind of a bit more like, okay, it would be, it's going to look bad if I fight against this? Like, do you think that's a part of it too? Or, do you think she just totally gets it? I don't think if they told Alyssa this, she would be okay with it. You know what I mean?
I don't think she react the same as Claire. No, I think Claire is more receptive.
What does that mean?
I don't think Claire is. I think Claire's more receptive. Maybe because Alyssa's a person of color and doesn't have to be as down with us. Maybe maybe Claire is expected to be.
I think Alyssa might go over her head.
Because she's from the Sunshine State, where they all shine. No, Claire, like I don't know. Like if I was Claire, I don't think I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, well,
I'm allowed to be mad at Tiffany. I think about this, at least.
I'm just surprised we didn't get a single thing from the DR where she was like, "Okay, I get it, but I'm pissed." It was more like, "I get it."
And I sign off on this.
That's why
I endorse
Claire
this plan.
Would be allowed to come to the cookout.
She'd be allowed to come.
Yeah, but although I don't know if anyone in the cookout would want the vegan. The vegan.
What's she bringing? What dish? The salad.
It's a salad.
And it would be a vegan salad.
Not potato salad. No.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know. Axis still having one-on-ones with everyone.
Yeah.
Why? Because he's campaigning?
Like he's just like following up with individuals. It's the dude. I'm like, this man
plays too hard.
It's not even playing too hard. It's just like a belief in his authority. It's just annoying.
His superiority.
Yes. He
believes he's the above them.
Like he likes the high ground. He likes taking the high ground.
Elitist.
I could absolutely buy him as a lawyer. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his lawyer vibes really showed tonight when he was like pacing back and forth and discussing like
he's giving me lawyer vibes.
Yeah. I kind of got that impression for that's why I played the Keanu clip from Devil's Advocate. Oh, I win. Like that's I'm getting those vibes from Xavier.
Well, he's gonna win this whole game. I picked him first overall in our draft, so watch out. Xavier's gonna win, whether I like him or not, or if I think he's a
lot of people liked him or like him.
I did like him, but I'm liking him a lot less now after hearing all these reports.
There's just a lot of gameplay left to be played. So.
Yeah, he can win us back, maybe.
We'll see.
He's
not winning America's favorite player though.
No, it doesn't sound like it. I don't think he was going to anyway. So that's okay. All right. So do we have any spoilers to break down?
No, there's no spoilers. Claire's gone. We're gonna see what happens tomorrow.
Thank you,
Mary. There's a lot of speculation on what they should do or who would win if they sat beside a blank person. Like there's a lot of that going on. But
everyone's trying to jockey for position as to what they're gonna do.
Does anyone anticipate a double?
Yeah, a lot of people actually. Claire thinks it's a double.
Claire thinks it's a double. Does that save her?
No. She's gone.
She's dead. She's a ghost.
She's dead.
Yeah. We barely knew you, Claire.
It's like, why are your bags by the door? Shouldn't order be outside already?
So excited.
So gone.
So screwed.
Wild.
So screwed. Oh man.
You are wild. You alternate player. You Claire who replaced Christy at the last moment.
At this point, let me ask you a question, Dave. Wouldn't you like want some like some Wendy's? Wouldn't you wish there was a takeout menu like Big Brother Canada?
Yeah, this isn't Big Brother Canada. I was gonna say the same thing.
Well, you know what I would go for? It might be
Junior bacon cheeseburger for a junior kind of gal.
Hey, he knew it. He knew it.
I know he was going with that.
Who orders a JBC when you're in the BB house? I get in the triple.
Tara.
It's Tara.
When she made the muffins.
I should make some damn muffins.
That's what Tara does. She orders that and she calls people a coward.
Yeah.
Bunch of cowards.
Oh yeah, guys, we didn't even talk about Hannah Zing. She was called invisible, which is accurate because we don't talk about her.
Hannah who or Zing or whatever it was. Yeah. Like we've said a lot of the same. Like we've been collecting Hannah sound bites all year. She has some moments.
Get it together, Hannah.
But this Barack Obama one tonight. But she's either very like or she's like, I hate your guts and I hope you die. So that's Hannah.
That's what she's in the DR, but in the house, yeah, she kind of like just clings herself to one person. And right now it seems like Tiffany. And it's just like she's just riding that and hoping that works.
I think she's an end game player.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why I picked her to win.
We're gonna judge her based upon her end game. All right, so
she's a sweet nothing game.
And I like sweet nothings whispered in my ear. Was that good? Yeah.
Was that good? I like sweet nothings whispered in my ear. That was right before she turned on poor Brent. She didn't like his sweet nothings.
Brent screwed Brent.
Brent screwed Brent. Let's not commiserate for Brent Champagne.
Champagne for my friends and real pain for my sham friends.
Brent Champagne, spelled just like the drink.
He should, if he does not use that line in real life, that's a shame.
Oh yeah.
Dave, you heard that line before?
We will always take an opportunity to make a pass with someone we find attractive. It's the truth. It's just
what they do. Always take an opportunity.
You've heard that line before, right?
Champagne spelled like just a drink?
No. Champagne for my friends and
real yeah, from 25th Hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's one of my. It's a great line. Real champagne for my real friends and real pain for my sham friends. Okay, so Claire, but I'm excited for double guys tomorrow. We're gonna get our first double eviction of the season. It's been a long time coming. We finally might get an unpredictable result.
We'll see.
Okay, when we gather here tomorrow night, guys, will we be in shock or will we going? That wasn't very exciting. Okay, on a scale of that wasn't very exciting being 0 and whoa, can you believe the twist this game was just taken being a 10? What number?
-1.
Look, I'm gonna be. I think if something happens, I'll be like, wow. And if they actually get to 6, I would be like, wow, they actually did it. So you're gonna get a Joey Lawrence from me. Whoa.
I want to see what happens after the double, and like once Alyssa's gone, I want to see like the fangs that are gonna come out in this alliance.
Oh, I don't even think you're gonna have to wait that long. My thoughts. When Alyssa gets on that block and it's set in stone that she's gone, I think like the daggers are gonna come out, right?
Mary, can you tell us is it Mary Bass like the fish or bass like the guitar? I always feel bad every time I say your name, and because I don't know.
Well, you may be saying it right, so who knows? Where was it? Yeah, like okay. So it sounds like Tiffany has now become persona non grata. She's in the crosshairs of the house, like because like the fish, she says. Okay. So it's Mary Bass.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like I think that that's I would I don't know, Tiffany, I didn't think we get past week 3 in this house, so she's done very well for herself. She's really pulled a good game together this season because she doesn't, she's a little bit like Tara, like who we were playing those clips of from earlier from Big Brother Canada and Jaemeel. I think like Tiffany has a similar path where she's like, the oldest one in the house, kind of that mom vibe in the house, and a little bit of like telling people how to be grown up, like stop acting like fools, a little preachy.
So she just needs to get with X and Kylan in a tripod, and then she'll be total terror vibes, right?
Do you think
that's Beth? But yeah, in the
I have a
triangle line.
Oh, yeah, you're right. In the thruple.
I have a question for Mary. If Tiffany gets put on the block and say she gets evicted, do you think it'll be a blindside up until the moment Julie goes by a vote of 3 to 1? Tiffany, you were evicted. Like, is it going to be a blindside to that moment, or is it going to be kind of like what Jaemeel was saying, where it's like going to be a veto backdoor? Is that going to happen? I don't know. That's my question. Kind of what's going to happen.
You are evicted from the Big Brother house.
Who's getting evicted? The fish?
Like the fish.
Like Loki.
You're gonna throw out.
How do you know what a fish is?
I like if someone gets blindsided, the amount of venom they'll spit on the way out.
Oh man, especially if it's Tiffany. Can you imagine the amount of venom that will come out of her?
DF?
Oh, him too. Like, but I think even more Tiffany because she's been more masterminding this season. Oh man, if that happened to her, then it's an 11, Dave.
Can you say cougar? Wait, so you think that Tiffany she's more of a cougar vibe in that house, not a mom vibe in that house? Like,
oh, you can be both.
You can be both. Maybe a puma.
Yeah. She would rather be called a puma, I would imagine.
Well, how much older is she than Kylan? Like 10 years older than Kylan?
Kylan, how old is Kylan? 25?
You look it up.
I don't know. But yeah, the
Kylan's 25, but looks like he's 55 the way he dresses.
Yeah, like they all don't look young, except like I feel like Alyssa looks pretty young.
Kylan's 27, so he's
Hannah
13.
kind of always is rocking like
Hannah is young.
Yeah, a graduate vibe.
Hannah was the youngest. She had to explain to us. I thought that was interesting that she was the one who explained Zingbot to us tonight, because she was like, just so you know, in case you never heard of Zingbot, I'm 21, and if you're an entry level viewer of this show, I'm your proxy here.
She also said something that's not true. She said that Zingbot's been in every season of Big Brother, and that's not true.
But she's watched since she's been alive, maybe.
Well, she's 21 this season. The show's 23 years old.
Right. Yeah, well, since she's been allowed to watch TV.
Yeah, when she was
the seasons before her don't count.
Yes.
Right.
Bunky's her favorite player.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Will. Who's that? Who's Dr. Will?
I know Zingbot. He's been here every season.
Yeah, I think with her, it's I believe Zingbot came in around season 10, 11, which is when she probably started watching. So, yeah.
Okay. Are we good? All right. I think all right. I'm giving you my answer to my own question, which is, I think we're going to be an 8 tomorrow night. We're going to say that this was a huge night. That mark your calendars, everyone. September 9th, 2021 in Big Brother is going to be a momentous episode. That's my prediction.
No.
Today could be tomorrow could be the greatest moment in Big Brother history.
Well, I don't know if I want to go that far, but I'm willing to say it's going to be a big.
Tony Schiavone says so. Okay.
I'm willing to say it's going to be a big moment for this season, a memorable moment in this season. Double evictions are always memorable, no matter what happens, even if it sucks. Okay. It's fun. We get to see a week in a night. I wish every season was like this. Just every night was like double eviction. Just let's get through it.
That might be Survivor.
Well, that is what Survivor's going to be. It's going to be rapid paced. Every 1 or 2 nights they're going to do tribal council.
It's 26 days, 29 days, 26 days.
But it's still 18 players, so they're probably going to do 2 vote outs at tribal councils a couple times. Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm excited.
18.
We're back, and the monster is hungry.
As much as I wish it was 30 days, not 26, but like this 39 is too long, but I think 26 might be bit too short, but we'll
They
see.
could
Like 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, that's true. It should be a month, though. I think a month shipwrecked.
4 weeks is a month.
26 days is not a month.
If it's February, it is.
That's 28. That's 28 days.
That's just shy of that. It's almost.
It's just as close to 30 days as you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's close.
Anyway, that's how I look at it.
Yep. All right, Dave.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up for the night. Thank you for watching. Make sure to be back tomorrow night as we cover the live double eviction. I guess that will still be at 9:30 Eastern because it's only an hour, so we're assuming no jury segment. Also, join us back for Sunday when we'll cover the HOH for the following week. I guess that will be technically the 10th week. And there will be a double eviction at the end of that week as well, as we hear Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week as well. Also, check out our other podcasts here on Super Mader Brothers Podcasting, including we just did Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings this past Saturday morning. Jeff, Jaemeel, and I breaking that whole movie down, and as well as the other Marvel Cinematic Universe podcasts we've done earlier this year, including WandaVision and The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We'll be doing others like the What If series and other things that are coming up. So if you like Marvel, check out those podcasts. We've done Westworld, we've done Tiger King, we've done The Serpent, we've done all kinds of other content. So, and if you have requests, let us know. Survivor. As well, check out our Star Trek themed channel, Live Long and Podcast, where on Monday nights we talk about Star Trek, the original series. On Tuesday nights, Star Trek Deep Space Nine. And Thursday nights, joined with Davin Skellhorn from Locutors of Trek, our second cousin. He from a Nova Scotia other Star Trek podcast. He will join us to talk about Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, episode, I think we're into 5 or 6 tomorrow. Episode 5, I believe it is. It's called, I don't remember. What's it called? Hold on. It's called, I hate how embarrassing. It's actually called An Embarrassment of Duplers, which is kind of fitting since I was embarrassed on dupling that up. Okay. And then also, today was Star Trek Day, and there's a whole bunch of stuff I haven't even watched yet. So we might be talking about that more in Live Long and Podcast. And also check out our other channel, Trivial Debates, where we argue about movie, TV, sports, and more once a month in a game show like format, where we compete for a different, like what's the best movie, what's the best TV show, etc., etc. Check that out last Sunday of every month over in Trivial Debates and Eamon Mader's podcast, my son, who's got Let's Talk About Fighting Games, where you can listen to wherever you pick up your audio podcasts. Mary says here, I want to get on with the Marvel. I just can't seem to find it. Just can't seem to find our podcasts, or can't seem to find the Marvel con. If you
Dave, you should maybe post our like Facebook page and our.
Just go to the playlists. We have them all in. Whether you go to YouTube or Facebook, you can always find the series or playlists for our different content. Yes, the podcast. Okay, our podcast. Also, if you just go to the homepage of our Facebook page, you'll also find that was only like on Saturday, so you only have to go back a couple of days in the main feed in order to find that. But if you look at the playlist, you'll see there's an MCU podcast playlist, which has everything we've done over there. Most of them are like a 3-hour podcast because we were talking about pretty big content, like a whole season of WandaVision, a whole season of Falcon, the Winter Soldier, etc. So check those out. And we'd love to hear your thoughts and comments, and make sure to like and subscribe. And I think those are all of our plugs. So I think we need a song to take us out here tonight.
Pizza song.
I don't have the pizza song.
Why? It's the best song from Big Brother.
When's it from?
OOT.
Oh my God.
OTT, sorry.
I didn't even watch that one. Okay, we're going with the Big Brother. Let's go with the Big Brother cast song to take us out here.
7, 8. Welcome to Big Brother, where everybody hides in their room, because they're conspiring against the rest of the house.